Hey everyone, what's up? It's Startup Survival here, and I'm just going to make a quick video to compare these two high-value multi-tools from the Leatherman lineup. Of course, we have the Wingman on the bottom or on the left here, and then we have the Sidekick on the right. And these are very similar multi-tools in some ways. They're slightly different price points. The Wingman is a little bit cheaper than the Sidekick, and when these first came out, they were so cheap, like crazy cheap. I think I paid $35 for this one at the time, and the Sidekick is not actually my tool. I've looked at it a couple times, but I've just never pulled the trigger and actually bought it. And I'll get into why that is, why I chose this one over the Sidekick when we get into the features. But yeah, this one is I think about $10 or $20 more. I've seen the price point start to climb on these two multi-tools actually, so I guess they've gained in popularity. I don't know if it's a factor of the Canadian dollar sinking, and that's why the price of multi-tools and dedicated folders seems to be going up in Canada these days. I don't know why, honestly, but I think it might have something to do with the US dollar gaining momentum against the Canadian dollar. Anyhow, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about multi-tools, right? So let's get into comparing the main features of these two multi-tools, which I think are both awesome, but there's some important differences that need to be highlighted. First big difference is, of course, the blade shape there. Like the grind and everything I think is very similar. However, this one is partially serrated on the Wingman, the cheaper multi-tool, and then on the Sidekick you got a plain edge. I definitely prefer the plain edge, and I wish that they just put a plain edge on both of them because there's something else in the Wingman that I like to have, and I'll get into that in just one second. But if I was to make a Frankenstein version of these two multi-tools, plain edge would definitely be on both. So I guess that's a win for the Sidekick, but that's okay. I've used this knife before, and I only end up using, you know, the first inch and a half or so of the blade. You can get it done, but I definitely prefer plain edge. I don't own any partially serrated knives, I don't think. Here is the main difference in the two multi-tools as far as I see it. You got the scissors on the Wingman, and then you have the dedicated saw on the Sidekick. So here is where we diverge and we discuss different sort of purposes for the two multi-tools. So I think that scissors, for me anyways, are more useful than a saw because I find myself in the city more often than not. So if I'm going out to the woods, I would prefer to take this one because I think scissors start to lose their usefulness in the woods and the saw starts to really prove its value. So let's just take a look at another pair of scissors here while we got them, just for comparison purposes. I got the Victorinox Huntsman here. And you can see these are great scissors, but so are these. The scissors on the Wingman here, they almost kind of dominate the scissors on the Huntsman. But both great scissors. You can see that I love scissors, and I'll show you one more pair here just while we got it. Here is the Leatherman Wave, of course. And where are the scissors? I will show you them. Here they are. So the scissors on the Wingman are excellent. That's just what I'm trying to point out here by showing you a couple of other examples. They're bigger, they're nice, they're really smooth, they're spring-loaded. I've never had any durability issues with them. They still work perfectly. And where I really like scissors personally, and I got my fishing kit right back here, is when I'm going fishing. I will put in a multi-tool into this kit. What I'm using right now is the Leatherman Wave. But that could just as easily be the Wingman, right? So for fishing, I think that's an awesome multi-tool to have because you need to have the pliers, right? So when I go fishing, I don't want to use just like a Huntsman or something like that because when I catch the fish, I may have to catch and release it, right? So I want the pliers to be able to take out the hook. So anyways, that's just where the Leatherman comes in and where it really shines. So that is it for the external tools on both multi-tools here. So now it's time to unfold these bad boys and get into the internal tool set. But before we do, let's just have a quick look at the plier heads here. They are identical in function, but I mean these are, you know, owned by different people, so they've seen different amounts of wear and tear. They don't have the insertable, replaceable wire cutters like the rebar does. That's I guess a more expensive price point kind of thing, and I'm surprised that they haven't upgraded the where is the Wave? The Wave and the Charge, I'm surprised they haven't upgraded them yet with these replaceable 154 cm cutters. I think that's kind of cool. I've never actually damaged my cutters because I'm not like a tradesperson or anything like that, but I know people who have used these to cut things that they shouldn't have, and then those little jaws in there, they get damaged, and you might have to repair them, or they might just be broken for the life of the tool. I'm not sure if Leatherman will replace those for you or replace the overall tool if you damage them. I don't think they will. I think you're only supposed to use those within a certain range of capabilities, but those replaceable cutters definitely give you more options. So the pliers are the same on both, but what about the tool set? So on the Sidekick, let's look at one side first of all, and I'll just kind of unfold these so we can look at them all at once. So there's the 3 tools on the Sidekick, and here are the 3 tools on the Wingman. So you can see that they're slightly different here, and maybe I'll zoom in so you can see them a bit better. So on the Wingman, we have a package opener, and I have used this. It does work well. So here we go, again with the urban thing, scissors and package opener. So I think that the Wingman, of course, is better suited to the city. Also, you've got a can opener here, which I think is also a bottle opener. And then you have a file with a ruler on the other side. So I don't really use the file that much. That's not a very important tool to me. You can see we got a file on the other one with the ruler again, so it's the exact same tool, I believe. I don't use that very often. Like I said, I'm not a tradesperson, right? So this one has a partially serrated blade. I think that would be better actually than the package opener. I think the serrated blade could be very good for cutting rope and that sort of stuff, and I would prefer to have the plain edge blade on the Sidekick paired with a serrated blade internally, rather than having only one blade that's partially serrated in the Wingman. So I don't know, if I had to choose between these 2 tool sets, I don't know, that's a tough choice. But the only thing that's different is the partially serrated versus the package opener. I think I like that tool set a little bit better. So what about the other side? What else we got here? The other side on the Sidekick has 2 screwdrivers. There is a Phillips head and a flat head. And then on the Wingman, you have the exact same thing. So the tool sets are the exact same on this side. Do I use my screwdrivers on multi-tools all that often? No, not really, but once in a while, and I think that these two heads here, the Phillips and the flathead, are pretty much the most common, so I think that that's a good choice for this multi-tool. And of course, these don't lock, I should just point that out, but the way that you kind of get around that is you just fold it. So let's say that this, it folds on you, it's not going to fold on your hand, right? So non-locking, they're just slip joint tools. I don't know if that's to save cost or what, but it's different than the Wave where like all the tools lock, right? So here's the Wave, and here is a exchangeable bit head. So you don't have that option either in these less expensive multi-tools, but that's okay because, like I said, those are the most common anyways. But this locks. This has a lock back design to it, and you actually have to depress this to unlock it. So the only tools that lock on these, on the Wingman and the Sidekick, are the external tools. Those do lock, but the internal tools do not. Anyways, one last thing I'll point out about these 2 multi-tools before we finish is I absolutely love the pocket clips on them because for me that's just a more convenient way to carry the multi-tools, and you can clip that inside your pocket. The clips are fantastic actually. If you're not going to use that as an option, I think you can remove it, but I don't know why you would, because it doesn't weigh anything. But like I said, I much prefer that method of carry over the sheath, like with the Wave here or with the rebar. No pocket clips, although I think you can buy a pocket clip for the Wave. I've never done that, but I prefer to carry them like this over the sheath. I just think it's a lot easier. So that's a great feature as well. So just to summarize, the Wingman and the Sidekick, super high value multi-tools. Like I said, the prices started to climb on them where I am, and I've looked around. But yeah, I still think entry level, pretty awesome multi-tools. I've had the Wingman for probably 2 or 3 years now. I use it off and on. I don't use it all the time. I actually have this integrated into a bike system right now. So in my bike, I've got like a bag for the back of it, and in the bag I keep like a spare inner tube. I keep a pump. I think there's like some other tools in there, like some Allen head or hex screwdriver things, and then also I keep a multi-tool because I think that would be super useful to change a tire. So I believe in integrating multi-tools into different systems, be it a bug out bag, EDC, bicycle thing like a fishing kit perhaps, or even to leave at your workplace. So I think if you want to have a couple of different multi-tools, or you just don't want to carry one all the time, but you just want to put them strategically in different places, something like this might work really well actually, because they are pretty affordable. It's not like paying $100 for a wave and buying 2 or 3 of those and putting them somewhere. It's easy to integrate these and have some redundancy in your overall sort of preparedness system by having such high value, affordable multi-tools. Thank you for watching, and all the best.